saving money in Prince George's County. That's County Executive Aisha Braveboy says she will do with her new budget. Her nearly $5 billion budget eliminates a projected $200 million budget deficit, and it does not raise taxes or fees. It includes nearly $3 billion for education and makes investments in public safety, adding 150 more police recruits and 100 more firefighter recruits. The budget now goes to the Prince George's County Council for approval. And to give us more insight on the budget and how it impacts Prince George's County's families, we have the county executive here this morning. Aisha Braveboy, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
And just talking about this budget, it was projected to have that $200 million deficit, and you were able to do this without raising taxes. So what trade-offs did you have to do, or what constraints did you have to deal with in order to make this happen?
Well, let me tell you, we really took a full look at our budget, how we were spending money, and also the contracts that we had negotiated. We renegotiated many of those contracts, realized cost savings there. We also looked at streamlining government, which we were able to do. And then we also looked at things like paying off our debt service early so that that didn't carry into the following year. We also saw an increase in income tax, which was great, and property values are rising in Prince George's County, so there was some increase there as well. But we did not ask for tax increases. We did not ask for fee increases for our residents. We focused on tightening up our budget to make it work for the people of Prince George's County, and that's what we were able to do.
Okay, and so you mentioned property values there. You know, housing, it's a big issue for residents. We were both at that Maryland Capital Region Housing Symposium last Friday. And it's just not a matter of just having enough housing, but then people, they need to be able to afford the housing, and then once they buy, they need to be able to pay the high taxes that come with property value. So what are some ways that the county is helping address housing issues?
So we are looking at what's called the missing middle. How do we get a housing that people can afford? People who are working people, hardworking people, young people who want to buy their first home. Everyone deserves a right to the American dream, which in so many ways starts with home ownership. And so we're looking at investing in our transit-oriented development where we can build housing for our workforce. And so we're focusing there and some other areas where the county and the state can invest in building housing that people can afford. So we're working and we're leading the way in terms of building affordable housing in the state of Maryland. Prince George's County is leading the way. So, it's people want to see their property values rise because that means they made a great investment, but also people need to be able to get into the market. And so we're working on that now.
It's a balance. Okay.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about that big snowstorm.
Oh, yes.
Families in some neighborhoods, they're still, they want answers of why it took a week. For some, I'm told 2 weeks before their streets were plowed, or they had trash pickup or even mail. So what are some lessons that the county has learned for the future?
So look, this was a historic, not just snow, but ice storm. If you can imagine, freezing temperatures for over 8 days. And so that was something that our region had never dealt with ever. And so there were other jurisdictions across the regions dealing with the same thing. So we've gotten together as the Council of Governments to talk about lessons learned. And part of that is dedicating more resources to snow and ice removal. So in this year's budget, we've increased our budget by $10 million for that purpose. We are investing in a new equipment, and we are bringing on contractors right now. So if you have a business where you can pick up snow and ice, please reach out to our Office of Procurement. We want you.
You know, because a lot of issues was the plows didn't necessarily work because it became crete, so you needed those bulldozers.
Yeah, and one of the things we're also doing is we're going to actually make our own salt mix. So we purchase salt mix that can work at temperatures below 20 degrees. So we currently purchase that. Now we want to be manufacturers of that type of snow or that salt mix. So we're excited about being innovators as well.
Okay, all right. Let's pull out national scale here. The county is working to pass some of the most restrictive ice laws in the state, possibly in the country. Are you concerned of any pushback from the White House as for any of the laws that the council members have introduced so far?
Well, let me say this. I issued an executive order declaring that all county buildings and county-owned property were safe spaces for all residents in Prince George's County. And so we are doing our part to protect our people. And what I believe is that we have to resist. We have to resist what is happening because people are literally scared to send their children to school, to go to work, and that can't be America. And Prince George's County will still be America.
Okay, well, before you go, I got to ask you about data centers.
Yes.
I know it's a tense topic, and
sure.
while it means revenue for the county, one of the concerns for residents is that that could mean higher electricity bills. So what's your stance on that and on the land oversight? That's
a concern for me, too. I do not support a data center at the land oversight at all. It's too close to residences. It's in an area that's not close to a major utility line, and so it would just cause too much confusion there. So that's off the table. When we talk about data centers, I agree with the governor in that we should really be ensuring that those data centers are paying for themselves and that they are not causing utility prices to impact ratepayers. I'm a ratepayer. The folks out there are ratepayers who are listening to me. We appreciate any additional revenue for the county, but what we don't appreciate is for us paying higher utilities so that someone else can make some money. So what we're going to do is take a smart approach to it. We're going to wait until the PSC issues its recommendations, and I believe what will end up happening is that those data centers will have to pay for themselves.
Okay, well, County Executive Aisha Braveboy, thank you so much for joining us. A lot of topics covered here in 5 minutes.
Absolutely,
Thank you so
absolutely.
much.
Thank you.